Hi there. I was just reorganizing the graveyard a little bit, and Oggold wants to talk to me. Glorious leader, some elders have been cast from their cult and now seek a place to enjoy their final years. Maybe we should let them join ours? Now this is a challenging question, because on the one hand, recruiting elders just so that they can die here uses up some of my alphabet slots on people who won't accomplish anything else for me. It's only the one, but I'm actually going to turn this down. And Oggold is utterly devastated that I would do such a thing. Now, when it comes to flooring, that's what the graves look like without it. That's what they look like with it. I could also just remove it and let the graves stand on their own, and I might honestly prefer to do that. Because I think this looks respectable enough, you know? And perhaps mark the sites of future graves with this dirt instead of straw. I think that, or perhaps that, is the way that this is gonna go. Yeah, I'm sorry, this is not really a place to spend one's retirement. If you're going to contribute to the cult, join it while you can still contribute. Ordinarily, in the course of gameplay, I would probably recruit them and then sacrifice them, but I don't feel like being that mean right now. I could, but it's not entirely in keeping with my, my self-imposed, thing that I'm trying to do. There's a word for that. And I'm forgetting it at the moment. Behavior isn't quite the right word. Conduct. That's the one. My self-imposed conduct. Thank you, Azrael. I'm really kind of smitten with taking care of Azrael and adopting them as like one of the ones that I focus on, kind of like I was previously with Alex and Anthony and Amanda, but Amanda is nearing old age, and Alex and Anthony are already dead, so it's time for a new generation of playing favorites. Speaking of which, you're still a good dog, Amanda, and I still love you. I'm glad you know. I thought I already did this. It turns out that the lumber camp which was exhausted is the one that was already exhausted. And now things have been set pretty much in order around here. So here's our new refinery station with extra slots. Okay, let's maybe not go that overboard. That looks good, but we're going to need more wood again. And I think that's okay, because this is going to give it to us. So having set all that in motion, I will... I don't have minutes for that. I will cook another couple of modest mixed meals and some more berries for our people to make sure that they're not hungry. And then go on another crusade. Perhaps back again to the Silk Cradle, or perhaps, and I think more likely, to Anchor Deep. Let's check that I've actually done the sermon. I have not. Well, let's do that then. I really like the way this game blends an action-oriented kind of gameplay These are both really good options. Might of the Devout is going to come up every time though, so I'm going to take that. I really like the way this game combines some kind of action gameplay with a management style of gameplay. I like the way that there's recipes in it. I love recipes in games. I love cooking in games. And frankly, I want more of this. If you who are watching, you who watch this video, to make a reference to the old original Alone in the Dark, because that is in fact what I'm doing, you who are watching this video, if you know of other games that have a similar blend between something domestic and something adventuresome, something which is action gameplay and something which is more of like a cooking game or a base management or a life sim, whether or not it is mainstream or indie or weird, please tell me about it, because I think I would be interested. When I asked an AI chatbot to recommend games similar to Cult of the Lamb recently, which is a thing that I decided to do, one of the things that it recommended, like both of them were already on my radar, one of them was Don't Starve. And I played so much of that as to actually get a little bit sick of it a while ago, and I almost never get into the late game. I wouldn't say I'm exactly good at Don't Starve, but I do really like it, and if any of you would be interested in watching me Let's Play that as well, let me know, because maybe if I have an audience, it'll make it more interesting again. Maybe if I have a conduct to live up to for your sake. Attica, great leader. There are rumors going around that we don't have enough food. Please prove us wrong by making some meals. I thought I just did that, but as long as you give me some time for it, yeah, I'll do it again. Don't worry, I'll make you some meals. Not right now, though, because we are honestly running a little low on foodstuffs, but it's not the kind of emergency that people might have been making it out to be. We're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay, don't you worry. Now, before I go, let's send some people out adventuring. Axtel would continue to stand a remarkably good chance of bringing us back extra followers, but we don't really need extra followers right now. What we need is food. So, Axtel, go and fetch us some meat so that we can more easily make meals for all our people. And Azrael, why don't you go do that too? Thank you so much. Now let's see. I want to bring Amanda with me again. Having Vossigus style demon with me worked out real well for me. And I think previously I also brought Eondel, so I can't do that again because Eondel is all tired out. But I could bring Astarte for a melee attacker. I cannot bring Attica because I can only have one Vossigus. Vossigus can only be channeled once. Oggold would serve as an explosive attacker, and Awu is another Vesta. I like that. I like that. Avernum would give us more starting hearts. Applejack would be a Vesta as well. Well, I've really been investing in it. Whoa, wow. But I'm gonna keep doing it. Having a high-level Vesta follower is helpful, and yes, each of the followers is associated with a particular demon, and anytime that follower is summoned, they will always be summoned as the same demon. I do not know why Vesta keeps spawning up in the air over here. Is it something to do with how I built my summoning circle? This is utterly bizarre. So yeah, I like Cult of the Lamb. I like the way it blends different styles of game together. Do I want to buy Jupiter? Yes, I do. I'll come tend to you later, Jupiter. Oh right, I want to go to Anchor Deep. Apparently I don't want to go to Anchor Deep just yet. I want to go to Silk Cradle. I'll go to Anchor Deep next time, maybe. I feel like more Silk. I feel like more spiders. I'm like in the groove for fighting spiders, I guess. I love gauntlets. They are my favorite weapon type. Okay. And the Hound's weapon is awesome, but it doesn't hone in on these dummies. Right, so I really like Cult of the Lamb. I've been having lots of fun with it, but even on hard mode on a self-imposed conduct like this, I think it could be more challenging. Like, the base building is feeling less difficult than I feel like maybe it should be on hard mode, with an additional self-imposed challenge. And I also feel like I'm kind of wrecking these dungeons, not to, like, toot my own horn too much. And I'm not perfect, I'm not, like, getting damageless boss fights all the time. However, one of the other things I'd be interested in is if there's more games that are kinda like this, but are somewhat more challenging. Somewhat more complex. Like, maybe there's more to the base building, maybe there's more factors you have to manage, because I feel like I have to try in order to lose at the base building side of this. And I would rather, I would like, at least, I'm not necessarily going to say that I would prefer it, but I would like to also have the opportunity to play games where I feel like I don't have to actually try in order to be in any risk of losing. Like, I might just lose because it's hard, as opposed to because I'm trying to see whether it's actually possible to lose. It is, by the way, it's possible to lose from so thoroughly neglecting your flock that you don't have a single follower left, and then failing to collect another follower in something like 10 minutes. Plenty of time to go talk to Helob, to like raise some gold, and just buy one, or to go through a couple crusades and find any of the ways in which you can recruit followers on Crusade. So you can lose from not having any followers, but you kind of have to try. And if you have games to recommend me, especially that you would be interested in seeing my reactions to, especially if they're kind of like off the beaten track, not very well known, kind of indie, so I'm unlikely to find the recommendation somewhere else, like via Steam recommendations or just because everybody's talking about it, let me know. If it's old, that's fine. If it's hard, that's great. The only real requirement for me is that it has to be something that I can run on kind of a toaster PC, because the tech that I have is not great. I don't have a lot of space on my hard drive. I don't have a lot of... Ooh, what's this? Come one, come all, to a palace of wonder and delight, where all that glimmers is gold, guaranteed. Midas's Cave, open 7 days. Well, we are sequence breaking the fuck out of this. We've actually heard, I don't know whether you noticed, but we've actually heard, down at the fishing spot, occasionally, the cultists that we, that started showing up after we fixed the lighthouse would whisper about Midas's Cave, so now we have the capacity to go and see it for ourselves. Anyway, yeah, the laptop that I'm using, even, like, right now to record this, I keep just walking into fireballs, that's one of the easiest ways for me to get hurt, does not have particularly high, technical capabilities. Just sitting there next to the fire is not cool. Stop camping. Challenging on me and not my hardware. If you can recommend a game which is challenging, potentially, on me and not my hardware, which I might like in the ways that I like this being like Binding of Isaac, and I like Don't Starve being all complicated and challenging and easy to actually lose without trying, and I like Cultist Simulator for being all hella culty, which this is too, and also being easy to lose without trying, let me know, because I would probably be real into that, especially if you would like to see me try it and see my reactions to it, because I would be real into that too. And believe it or not, I am, I may or may not have much capacity to follow through on this effectively, but I do have an interest in having game recommendations and game requests for things to play. So we could go find a follower, or we could talk to Hilab about a follower. Let's go find a follower without talking to Hilab. They took my family and sacrificed them to Shamura. I'm all alone. Now, I can just leave you behind. Or I can just recruit you straight up without even having to fight anybody. You need no longer be all alone. We will demand other things from you, but you do not have to endure loneliness at my cult. It's a big family to welcome you. Okay, what we got here? Stone and gold. Handy resources. Continuing on, I'm not sure whether I got those grass tufts or not. They were definitely zooming towards me, but I might have missed out on them on account of leaving the screen before they actually caught up with me. Okay, lose a red heart, gain a tarot heart, which gives me an extra red heart. How magnificently pointless, except that it got me a diseased heart too because it's a tarot card. That's fun. Now, if there is another tarot card draw that I can find on this level of the dungeon before actually losing the one the diseased heart that I have now, then that will have been truly pointless. Ah, hello, Shamura. I am not what I once was. Though no longer wise, I am no fool. I know the end draws near. I can take some comfort in confession. The blame hangs heavy around my neck. I introduced him to ideas of change, for my domain is knowledge, and it is ever evolving. So this, I like Shamura. He doesn't try and warn us away and tell us that we're doomed. He sees that we have the favor of death, and death cannot be killed, and no matter how many times he or his underlings kill us, we are going to come back, so the end for him, as it is for everyone else, except perhaps death itself, is inevitable. But he wants to tell us about this. He genuinely wants somebody to understand his story. And I really respect that. And the fact that he apparently loved his brother, loved the one who waits, despite all of that turning against each other, there's some rich storytelling there. As well, let's address this. The four bishops represent the forces of the four horsemen of the apocalypse. Except one of the four horsemen is death. So we need another one. The fifth horseman, according to Terry Pratchett, may he rest his soul, beloved be, was chaos. And chaos was mentioned when, I think, Hara was listing the traits. So we have famine, which I believe was Hecate, the frog-like one. We have, I think, pestilence is Kalamar, the squid-like one. I think that Leshy represents chaos, and or possibly shares the notion of disease with Calamar, but since Leshy didn't disease our people, I think Leshy is pretty much just chaos. And Shamara is war. Now, people might say war never changes, but the techniques of war, the psychology of war, the tools of war, they do. It is knowledge, and it is ever evolving. And I think it also makes sense that war and death would have a very special relationship, perhaps even greater than famine or pestilence or chaos, things which cause war but not on purpose. Sorry, things which cause death but not on purpose. War causes death on purpose. And so it makes sense here that Shamara, the embodiment of war, the bishop of war, sees his own end coming, is aware of tactics, although people think he is insane, and has some awareness of what's going on, and is fond of his brother Death, whom he supported, to whom he taught, and changed forever. So here's something else I love about this game. The symbolism goes real deep, and you can get some really nice readings out of what it means. So I respect Shamara for knowing himself, and for being honest about what he is. He blames himself for Death now being tied up in this afterlife, even though he loved him. An organic state of being for myself, but for him, most unnatural. Death cannot flow backward. It was I who had him chained, forced into subjugation by the four of us. Again, war is the only one of these forces which invokes death on purpose, subjugating it, so that makes sense. Subjugated as you too soon shall be. Make peace. Bow to me, lamb. I'm going to refuse. No, I will not bow to you. A lion. In the guise of a lamb, I expected no less. From a vessel of the Red Crown. Continuing to be respectful there. Very well. War is also my domain. He says it outright. And so, since war is his domain, he will challenge us to a fight rush. I kind of feel like quoting a slightly nonsensical Klingon saying, no victory is worthy, no battle is worthy, no victory honorable, without the challenge of a worthy adversary. Because I kind of feel that. You know, if it's too easy to win, then it doesn't feel like a victory to me. I need to be able to respect at least the challenge that is posed to me, if not anything else about what poses it. I don't necessarily need to respect the ideology of my enemy, but if they're capable of standing up to me, then I should respect their strength. And I would like games that I can respect in that way. I don't find this one to be all that challenging, and I would like more of a challenge. I say while getting significantly struck in this room full of fight, but I wasn't at risk of losing there. Not especially, anyway. Let's see, what do we have? Kill the cocoons, get webs. Now, these scorpion things, you know, running into fireballs being the most threatening thing for me. The fireballs that they spit are certainly a hazard. So I can respect that. Aquinas has reached old age. The flock is ready for another sermon, but I am not. I am out adventuring. I want to go see what was back here in this other room. So one of these is probably good. Huh. I was just saying one of these is probably going to be a dead end, but neither of them have ended after only one room, so that's kind of weird. And I believe we have the Gauntlets of the Necromancer, because we are gaining hearts from slaying our enemies, and that's always nice. Okay. Now we get to draw the tarot card. Oh, man. Hard choice between two very tempting offers. I can have more curse when my curse is hounds, or I can have more weapon damage when my weapon is gauntlets. And both my curse and my weapon have already been serving me real well. I think I'll go for the Divine Curse too, because that allows me to attack something from a distance, and that might make the difference in actually getting a no damage boss fight, which I do like to shoot for. I don't need to buy another reading from you, thanks, Clonic. Okay. Like, this is just the amount of fervor that I get from the enemies that I kill from a hound's attack is more than enough to replenish the hound's attack that I spent to get it. That is just... I'm already sitting on a broken combo here. I love this combination. Vampiric Gauntlets are great when I'm actually taking any damage. And I just love hounds as an attack. Keep it, I don't need it. I'm happy with what I got. Okay. As I was saying, it was like that's clearly the best time to offer me the chance to trade in the weapons that I was just saying I liked so much. Thanks, game. I'm glad you were paying attention. And I pridefully feel the need to get into melee even when I shouldn't, and I can afford the spells. Like, I know that those things grow spikes. I know that I should be dodge rolling away from them if I insist on getting into melee at all to begin with. Oh man. Again? You know, how about I take this one off the pedestal, but I'm still not gonna use it. I mean, if you could give me an upgrade to a different kind of gauntlet, then maybe I would take that. But seriously, I love the gauntlet. I love these triple swipes. I feel like I'm still quick and frisky. Eondel has died. There's going to be so many more spiders falling from the sky, and it's hard to see what's going on. Okay, Attica is dissenting. Wait a minute. Huh. Things are more dire than I thought they were. Seriously though, just hounds after hounds after hounds, and I have so much fervor that it's not even a problem. And just to remind you again, this is on hard difficulty. It's not on the hardest difficulty, but it is on hard difficulty. And it's the hardest zone of the game, with the exception of the actual final boss fight. Ostensibly, anyway. I mean, Anchor Deep can rival it sometimes. And thing is, like, I wouldn't really want to play this game without using even the first commandment stone that unlocks leveling up our followers, because managing follower levels and leveling them up is so much a part of the game that playing it without that would just feel like, well, I've decided not to even play the game as a challenge, like, which I guess does make it more challenging, but it also makes it less, you know, the reasons why Cult of the Lamb is fun for me. So why would I do that? It's very well produced. Although I will say this, we haven't gotten to it yet. I do not fancy the endings. The endings that I've seen for this game, and I haven't seen all of the options, but I've seen two out of what I presume to be 3. The endings that I have seen are lackluster endings. They're... Ooh. Like I was saying, I will take an upgrade to goblets. Now, let's see if I can finish this boss fight before dawn, because Attica might leave at dawn. This boss fight is one of the goddamn caterpillars, so I'm not sure I can. But let's try it. Yeah, just cheat like crazy and throw fangs everywhere. And because I've got Vasigus, as soon as I strike the boss, I get the fervor for striking the boss. So, yeah, about that. Like I said, the fervor, this is why I chose the fervor option here. Ooh, there was beetroot as an option here, and I turned it down without really paying attention because I'm in a hurry. But I'm not that upset about it. Like, I was here for food, and if I had noticed the beetroot was there, I would have taken it, but I'm not that upset that I didn't really notice. Alright. Time to go back home.